Hi guys, welcome to BR Fashion Tutorial. I'm Bukola Rose, your favorite tutor. Do you like what you see on your screen? If yes, then you need to watch this video to the end. I will show you how I draft this corset jumpsuit, while you see the skirts and detachable style piece in another video. These are the tools I need for this work. I need my steel ruler. I like to get all my tools near me. Then I'm going to make use of my hip curve. Of course, French curve is very important. I may need to use either this tape or pin to hold my pattern while working. Then I'm going to be drafting using pencil and eraser for correction. I'm going to make it more prominent by using work marker so that you can see what I'm drafting. Then I'm going to cut out using my scissors. Measuring tape, very important. I like this type. I designed this tape for myself. I cut it out from a long measuring tape. It doesn't cost you anything to cut out this from a measuring tape, just to make work easy for you. It's just 15 naira tape, so I cut this out. And then this will serve as 0.0 for me, while this is 1 inch. So anytime I want to make use of those little calculations like 0.25, 0.75, I prefer using this. This makes it more easy for me. So the reason why I want to use the tip of the tape is because sometimes this metal, I don't know what's go wrong. Sometimes it usually make the calculation not accurate. You can see now, though this one cut off anyway, it's supposed to be like this. You can see that the 1 inch here is not exactly the 1 inch I have here. So if you make use of this one, your calculation may not be correct. So I prefer using this. And of course you can see that there is no way you will be able to get all this mark because of the metal used here. So I'm going to make use of these as well. And this is my sketch. This is my sketch. So this is my design for my birthday. So this is the measurements I'm working with. I like to have my measurement this way. So I copied it out from my measurement book. I like to have it arranged the way I'm going to work on my pattern. So I like to have my measurements arranged like that. You know, another advantage of this is that it will guide you, especially if you're a beginner. It's going to guide you. You know that you're starting with the shoulder, the chest level. So those lines, bust points, before you now go down towards the circumference. So this serves as guide. I have the figures already. I divided by 2, those ones that need to be divided by 2. So I have division by 2 for those that need to be divided by 2. I have division by 4 for those that need to be divided by 4. So let's get started. So I've already prepared my block for the front and the back. So this is going to be for the front bodies and this is going to be for back bodies. So how do I get this? I work using the largest circumference, which is my hip. So that's 35. And you know, I'm working with both front and back. So I'm not going to use division by 4. I'm going to make use of division by 2. By the time I cut out the front and the back and I use it to cut my fabric, it's going to give me my 35 inches. Then please don't forget, whenever you are writing down measurements, even when you divide it, don't forget to indicate that this is in inches. So I have my block already prepared. I divide my block into 2 so that one will stand for the front and the other one for the back. Then the length I'm working with length 20. I'm working with length 20 because whenever you are making a corset, either corset gown or blouse, it is preferable you stop around your lower waist. So it's preferable you stop around there so that you can sit comfortably, except you want to work with your half length, which is not advisable because you will not be able to snatch your waist very well. The fat, your belly fat will escape down to your lower waist. So it is advisable to do what? To work with around your lower waist. Now let's proceed. The next thing I'm going to do now is to draft a basic body. I'm going to use a simple method. I'm not going to use the Natalie Bray method now. I'm going to use a simple method so you can understand. So I'm going to draft a basic body, then I will alter it into corsets. I will alter it to what I want. I'm going to work with my measurements. Remember, I arrange my measurement the way I'm going to work on my pattern. So the first thing I'm going to mark now, since I'm not drawing margin for any of my, or I'm not drawing margin on my paper, what I'm going to do now is what? I'll just mark my shoulder measurement. We are working with division by 2, don't forget. So shoulder is usually divided by 2. This is center front and this is center back. So please don't forget to don't mark your shoulder from the side back or side front. So this is center front and this one is center back. So I'm going to mark from center back like I marked for the front panel. Okay, so this is 7 inches. I'm going to mark a basic neck, which is 3 by 3. Okay. I'm going to make use of the same width, which is 3 inches. The same width. Then I'm going to make use of 1.5 depth. It's not going to be 3 inches this time around. 1.5 depth. I'm going to use the marker to trace out my lines so that it can be more prominent for you to see. So the next thing I'm going to do is just what? To bring out a curved shape on the neck area. I'm going to move to shoulder slope, which is 1.5 for the front and 1 inch for the back. And I'm going to connect those lines. I can use the marker to trace out those areas I need so that you can see better. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to do what? To mark my chest level from the back shoulder slope, which is 6 inches. 6 inches. Then I'm going to transfer my shoulder measurement, the 7 inches. I will transfer it on the 6 inches. Okay. So this is the corner I made. Altogether here is 7 inches. So on the front pattern, I'm going to mark 7 inches. And I will get the point of the, I'm on point. So this is the angle I need. I'll just join it to the shoulder, like so. And I will connect the line. Before that, let me mark my 7 inch. So let me quickly work on my armhole. What do I have here? I have 5.5 inches for the front. So I'll just go up with 2 inches. You can do more than 2 inches for yours, but this works perfectly for my measurement. 2 inches. So now I'm going to take my bust measurement on my chest line. And don't forget, this time around we are working with division by 4 for the bust circumference. Division by 4, which is 8.25. So I'm going to make it of 8.25. That's my 8.25. So from here, I will go in with 0.75. Connect this point to this angle and to the shoulder using the French curve. Okay. Now the next thing to do is to work on the back armhole. So I'm just going to divide what I have here by 2. I have 6 inches, that means the midpoint is 3 inches. On the midpoint, I'll go in with 0.5. And what I did here, I'm going to repeat it here. So I'm taking what? 8.25 on my chest line. And I'll connect those points using my curve ruler. So the next thing to do is to draw out my lines, the bust point, shoulder to waist, then I'll continue from there. So the bust point is 9 inches from the shoulder, from the top. You take your 9 inches. The next one is shoulder to waist, which is 15 inches. So I have labeled the work done so far. This is neck for front, shoulder, shoulder for back, neck, armhole for both front and back, then chest line for back, bust point, waistline, the same thing for back. Next thing to do is to insert my darts. And what are we going to do? We are going to use the bust span, which is 7 inches, divided by 2 is 3.5. So I'm going to take the 3.5 all through, from the M to the waist, 3.5, then to bust point, 3.5. Then I will draw a straight line using my pencil. Okay, that's a guide. For back, the same thing. For the back, three point five, then on the chest line, 3.5. Okay, we forget to extend this one to the chest, 3.5. So I'll just connect those points like so. Okay, now my dart is going to be on the waist line, and I'm going to make use of 7 points. I'm going to make use of 0.7 on both sides. 0.7, 0.7 for my dart intake. 0.7 from the waistline. 0.7 on both sides for the waistline. And I will connect it to the bust point. And I'll connect it down to the hem. The back is going to have modest panel. So I'm going to leave the back for now and complete the front. So the next thing I'm going to do is to take circumference of my front bodice. I have the bust circumference already. It's going to cover up from the armhole. So I'm going to take circumference for the waistline. And this time around, I'm working with division by 4. Division by 4. So my waist circumference is 7. With my dart intake, which is 1.5. That makes it what? 8.5 for my waist. For the hip circumference is 8.75. This is 8.75. Okay, I think I'll just add 0.5 inch. Let me just work with that. And then connect with my ruler. Okay, don't mind this shape. We're still going to work on this area. Okay, now I will draw my under bust line, which is shoulder to under bust 12 inches. So I'm going to insert the under box. I'm going to insert the under bust line, which is 12 inches. From the top, I'm taking 12 inches. I need it to be more prominent for you to see. So having marked my under bust, the next thing I'm going to do now is to do contouring on the bust area to alter this pattern into corset pattern. Contouring means taking out excess, shaping the prominent area of your pattern. So now what I'm going to do is to open up with 0.5 on this side, and on the other side using nipple to nipple, which is bust span, as a guide. You can see that's where I'm putting my measuring tape. So I'm going to open up with 0.75, and I will use my French ruler to give it a nice curve. Blend it in. Should not be too much. On the other side, I'm going to do the same thing. Okay. So instead of bringing it down to the hem, right now I want to give my corset a shape. It can be done on the pattern, and you can use boning to do it on your fabric, but I prefer using my pattern to draft the structure I want. So the style line I want now, I want my bone to come this way like a V shape. So I'm going to transfer my dart to this side, and I'm going to do what, use 2 inches for that, because I don't want it to be wider than 4 inches at the center front. So I'm going to use 2 inches to transfer my dart from this side to this side. You know, the dart came this way, we connected to nipple point, which is bust pan, but right now I'm connecting to my new dart. So now I'm going to transfer this line like this, and I will blend it on this part. I'm going to use marker to make it prominent now. I'm going to open up with 0.25 on both sides. That gives us 0.5 for the new dart. I'm opening up with 0.25, and I'm connecting this line down to this place, then the other side as well. I'm connecting it now to the under bust like so. Okay, then this side I'm connecting it to down here. Remember, I added 0.5 to my measurement, so that's the 0.5 I added. That's it here. If you are doing more than 0.5, if you are doing like 1 inch, you can actually add the 1 inch while taking your measurement. So I don't need all these lines again. I want to rub it off. I don't need all these lines. So I need to rub it off so it won't cause confusion. So we need to work on the chest line right now. So on this side, I will open up with 0.75. On the other side, the same thing, 0.75. And I will connect it to the bust points. The next thing I'm going to do is to create my style line. I'm going to pass bony at the center front. And anytime I'll be putting bony on the center front, I need my neckline to go down a bit so that the bony is going to relax on the center front. It's going to relax perfectly. So what I'm going to do now, from the neckline, I'm going to come down with 4.5 because I don't want it to expose my body. In as much as I want it to come down, I still don't want it to expose my breast. So I want a channel in between the two corsets. I want a channel there. So what I'm going to do now, I'll just work with 0.25 is okay. I don't want wide channel. So 0.25, and I'm going to mark it down here again. 0.25. Then I'll connect the line. So now I'm going to create a style line coming to my armhole area. On the armhole line, remember this is our armhole guide. On the armhole line, I will come up with 0.75, and then I'm going to draw a style to be sure of what I'm creating. I'm going to draw it this way down to that part. Okay, I need to extend my dart up. I need to extend it up like so. Now I can draw my style line. It is not a must to follow the line I drew. It's just a guide. Okay, then it's go this way. Okay, all this part is going off. So the next thing I'm going to do is to draw a curve down to my under bust. Make sure when you're drawing, don't bend your ruler like this, or else your cup is going to give you a V shape. So, and it's supposed to be round because under our bust is round, not V. The curve should not be too much. So it's okay for me this way. I will come in with 1 inch on my armpits. I'll come in with 1 inch. The 1 inch can work for anybody. So I'm going to draw my curve down to the under bust as well. I'm still going to add allowance to this cup. So that's it. I'm going to label it now. So on the bust point, I want to subtract 1 inch because I'm going to reduce the back of my pattern. I'm going to reduce it with 1 inch. So I'm going to subtract 1 inch from immediately after the bust point, and I will draw a line like this. I'm very sure that by the time I close my darts, this cup will not match again. So I need to check now if it's going to match or not. Okay, I just need to extend it a bit. So I want to create more channel for my boning, and I want to do it on my pattern. You see this first dart guide, which is our bust pan. I'm going to make use of this, and from the under bust, I will draw a line to meet this. From under bust, I'm going to draw a line to meet the bust pan, like so. And I'm going to cut out this part, which means this other part is not going to be part of my blouse. I'm going to cut out this part. This side is not going to be part of my blouse. So I will make that more prominent by using marker. You can see that I've already traced out what I've been done. Then I need to blend this angle. Should not be too sharp. So now I want to complete this part. I'm going to do a style line for the corset now. I'm going to meet, which is going to meet at the waist area. something like this. I'm going to make that more prominent. So now I can cut out the front panel. The point is matching, you can see. It's actually matching each other. So this is the front panel already cut out. So now we want to work on the back. I'll just remove the leftover from the front panel. If possible, you bring it out like this. So we have the back panel, and what we did on the front, we are going to do it for the back too. So on the chest line, we came up with 0.75. I want the neckline to be low to meet the bust points. So I'll just draw a V shape to meet that point. I don't want the modesty panel to be too wide. So instead of using the nipple point for my modesty panel, I will just work with 2.5. Having 5 at the back is okay for me. So I'll just work with 2.5 inches for the modesty panel. 2.5 inches. So I don't need this line anymore. Don't forget that I'm working with V shape. I can actually make the back anything, but I'm working with V shape. Length of the front stop at the waist area. Then the back is usually shorter than the front. So I'm going to subtract 1 inch from the back. I can just trim off that side immediately. So I need my V shape to come and meet around this 2.5 inches. So the next thing I'm going to do is to take out my circumference measurements. So I want to draw my panel lines. I'm going to bring one from here. I will come in with 1.5. I'm going to pass a boning from here to this point too. So I'm going to draw a line so I can make my measurements more prominent. I now take my dart using 0.5 on this side alone, because this side is modesty panel. So I'm going to use 0.5 to take in that and join it like this, and it's coming down this way. That is that for back. By the time I pass my boning and everything, the structure will come out nice. This side is going up, and this is the modesty panel. So now I want to complete the modesty panel first, because it's going to be ×2 of this for the modesty panel, and I will add some allowance. So I will first of all trim this side and go this way. Then I will fold it like this where I marked. And I'm going to add some allowance to that. I'm going to add 2 inches so it can go in and relax. So right now, I can do my dart for this side as well. I will just take in 0.25 like this and join it like this, so that it can balance when I sew it together. To be snatched already. I'm going to cut a fabric this like this and give it some allowance so that that fabric, for example, let's say this is the fabric, you join it here like this, then you will now, I will be able to punch that area for my highlights and groomets. So, and it's going to lap on this area like that. So now let us cut out the rest of this. So having done that, the next thing I'm going to do now is to create the cover for this side. So I'll just mark this out. And I will give it distance. Okay, I can do 1 inch. Distance of 1 inch like this. Distance of 1 inch. That's it. Okay, so this is the back. This will be joined together with this and this. This one will be on top. So what I'm actually trying to do is to close up the back and see how it fits. You can see it's going to give it a snatched look. And this like this. And this is how it's going to be.